many times have you woken up the day before your Halloween party and haven't bought your costume yet? I'm sure it's happened to everyone. Being in college, there's roughly 4 days of Halloween, give or take a day or two. In saying that, most of us don't have money to go out and buy the sexy costumes that cost $60 from Party City. So today I'm going to show you a cheaper and easier way to have a Halloween costume without having to buy it. I'm going to use makeup to turn my roommate into a sugar skull, and it's much easier than face paint. It doesn't dry out your pores, and it's usually things that you already have. You have eyeliner, you have mascara, you have eyeshadows. These are things that you can use to turn yourself into something in order to have a Halloween costume without buying anything extra. Having completed the first step, I covered her face entirely in a layer concealer. After doing that, I apply a white eyeshadow or a blush if you can find one over that with a blush brush in order to cover the entire area. Completed the whiteness of her face, the third step is to draw a black ring around her eye from her eyebrow all the way around to the corner of her nose. The best material to use is a very liquidy liner, something you can draw very smoothly. So having drawn the circle, the next step is to draw bumps around it, almost like in a pattern, from the top of her, above her eyebrow all the way to around her nose, and then add other patterns around it on top of the forehead or on the cheek. Having completed decorations, the spiral pattern as well as this curve, the next step would be to do the lip and the nose. In doing that, we're going to draw half of her nose in black, like in a triangle, and then half of her lips covering her lip line, and then drawing lines from the top to the bottom in a skull-like pattern. Okay, the next step would be to contour the face. What you're going to do is from her cheekbone all the way back to her ear, you're going to draw a straight black line with the same liquid liner, then you're going to brush it down to create a shade. It's the same thing we did up here with the swirl, which is a shade from dark to light. After doing the contouring, the next thing you want to do is do normal eye makeup. So we're going to do a top eyeliner, a bottom eyeliner, bring it to a point to the corner of her eyes, almost like a cat eye, and then we're going to apply mascara and underliner to bring out the color of her eyes. After doing all the black aspects of the face, the next step is to do the gold in the eye. You can, in reality, pick any color you want. You can use gold, purple, blue, pink. I actually did this last year for my Halloween costume, and I used gold. It's probably one of the more standout colors. And you're going to take a very flat brush, and you're going to coat it in the color, and then you're going to cover her whole eye around it. Alright, so how many of you have never had a Halloween costume the night before a big Halloween party? Well, I'm sure it's a lot of you, because being in college, there's 4 nights of Halloween, and most of the time, we're not willing to spend a lot of money on costumes. So today, I'm going to show you how makeup can be an easy solution to not having a costume the night before a big party. The first step is, I'm going to turn my lovely roommate into a sugar skull today, and the first step is putting a lighter color concealer, it could be anything that's lighter than your own skin tone, to make you look more like a skull. Did you stop recording? After covering the majority of the eye space with the liquid gold eyeshadow, I then covered it with 2 separate gold powders. Now, you can use one or you can use 2. I prefer a darker one and a lighter one. You put the dark one on the upper lid and the light one underneath it. The light acts as a highlighter and the dark acts to create a darker shape along the eye and make it look more hooded. After having completed the powder around the eye, I also used the gold powder as another contouring method along the cheekbone. I added gold underneath the black to further highlight the bone line. After that, I added a liquid glitter around the black line only to accentuate the fact that it's a circle. After doing that, I added mascara again because most of the powder falls into your eyes during the process to further bring out the color of the eye. As you can see, this is something that's very easy to do. It does not take much time and it can be done by someone else or by yourself. I did this on my roommate, but you can easily do it to yourself. I did this as my Halloween costume last year, which I already mentioned, and it honestly takes about 20 minutes when you know what you're doing. It does not require much more extra materials. You might need to buy the silver sparkly eyeliner if you choose to, and other than that, you can use the stuff you already have. If you don't have certain colors, use the ones you already have. In saying this is a cheap Halloween costume. You can dress in whatever you want with this as your face mask, essentially. You're not buying anything. The only things you have to buy is stuff that you want to add to the costume itself, and it's something that's easily attainable by anyone. Now, I know this is generally a girl's costume, but a guy can make a skull face if they so choose. You just need to understand the concepts of the contouring, which is what makes it look like you're a skull. So thank you for listening. This is my version of a cheap, doable Halloween costume.